Hello everybody and welcome to Banking Tech Insights here at 240 Blackfriars. My name is Tyler Page. I'm a reporter with Fintech Futures and today I'm joined by Fabian. Fabian, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm doing well.
Thank you very much. Well, it's very good to have you with us here today, and we're really happy to be speaking to you. For our audience, I know a little bit about you, but maybe they won't. So why don't you give us just a very brief introduction of who you are, please?
Yes, my name is Fabian. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Keyless.
Fantastic. Well, Keyless is what we're here to talk about today. Your wonderful company working with biometrics. I won't give the game away, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what Keyless does?
Yes, with pleasure. So Keyless is the pioneer and leader in privacy-preserving biometric authentication. So we're working with banks and helping them reduce account takeover fraud, in reducing cost, predominantly by providing self-service account recovery and removing the need for SMS OTPs. And we're improving the user experience when it comes to authentication across the entire user lifecycle, from the initial login over step-up actions, payment authorizations, through to new device bindings or account recovery.
Wow, so you've really got a full span of applicability there. It's really, really interesting. We're seeing a lot of biometrics increasingly within the industry being leveraged and applied. How would you say Keyless differs from other biometric technologies that we might be seeing?
No, thank you for that question. So Keyless is different to other biometric authentication solutions for three different reasons. First, it's truly privacy preserving. So there's no biometric data that we store anywhere, neither on the user's device nor anywhere on the server. So we're essentially allowing regulated entities to de-risk the server-side biometric capability with adopting a biometric without having to store biometric information. Second, Keyless is multi-factor by design. We're not only assuring the genuine identity of the user behind the device, which includes a passive liveness check, but we are also cryptographically verifying the device itself. So we have two distinct factors with one simple look in the camera. And all of that happens at lightning fast speeds in around 300 milliseconds, which is very unique. And thirdly, we allow for rapid time to value. So we seamlessly integrate with existing architectures, and we can leverage the existing identity verification processes to enroll users silently in the backend without having an existing user take another selfie to enroll into Keyless. So we can protect an existing user base without the need for having the user to re-enroll themselves again.
That's really, really interesting that you talk about this speed and especially mixing sort of speed with high levels of security. I think is quite a tricky intersection to get right and to balance. So it's really, really interesting that you're talking about the benefits of it from the consumer angle. Very interesting. For the banks and financial institutions that adopt Keyless and come to you for your solution, what would you say were the compliance benefits? We're looking a lot in the regulatory landscape about keeping things safe and secure. What are the compliance benefits of privacy preserving biometrics?
Yeah, so when you think of biometric authentication technologies today, there's really two approaches. On the one side, the device native biometric with Face ID, which doesn't assure the genuine identity of you, the user behind the device. It rather just unlocks your phone. On the other side, the server-side biometric systems that do assure the genuine identity of the user, but come with the inherent risk around compliance and security and having to store very, very sensitive personal information or biometric data in a central honeypot. And that is essentially the risk that we're taking away, allowing a regulated entity to adopt a server-side biometric capability without having the need to protect and provide or manage the user consent that is required with storing and processing sensitive personal information.
That's a very, very good advantage to have, really, because there are, of course, so many safeguards that need to be in place when having that data, when storing it as well. In terms of then when banks select your solution, which they're doing with increasing frequency, how would you say that it integrates with like existing banking systems and banking cores? Very much in the essence of our event here today, the Banking Tech Insights.
Yes, so we work very hard in assuring that the deployment and the implementation is as smoothly as possible. So we don't require any changes in existing architectures. We don't change the user flows for onboarding or authentication that exists today. We essentially tie into existing identity verification processes where users come in and create their accounts for the first time and provide their selfie and match it against a government-issued ID. And we leverage this information to enroll users for ongoing authentication without breaking the initial identity verification and ongoing authentication with username, passwords, and SMS OTPs that are typically used. And on the other side, we also tie into existing identity and access management infrastructures or orchestration and risk engines to essentially provide that modular, flexible authentication capability that can be used across the particular areas around the lifecycle where the bank wants to assure the genuine identity of the person.
Oh, fantastic. So it can really sort of integrate very seamlessly and be applied to where it needs to be applied. I think that's from the banks that I've spoken to and what they're after, that's a real key selling point of the solutions that they're looking for. As we mentioned, you know, security and biometrics are really coming on fast in the industry. A bit of a long projected question, but within the next 5 years, what changes do you think we might expect to see in banking authentication technology?
So what we expect to see is that we're moving away from passwords, PIN codes, SMS OTPs, but we're allowing users to authenticate themselves with who they are, predominantly the face, where the user would enroll once into an account or legitimize their identity or verify their identity, and then re-authenticate against their account from any device with who they are, without the need to remember a password, without the need to require a particular device, but simply authenticate by looking into the camera.
Fantastic. Well, it's a future we can hope and expect to see. And a lot of it will, of course, be a major conversation point here today at the Banking Tech Insights with Fintech Futures. But Fabian and Verli, it's been fantastic to meet you from Keyless.
Likewise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
joining
having
us.
us.
And
thank you.
Thank you everybody who's joined us online for this fantastic interview. I hope you found it very, very engaging and interesting. If you'd like to find out more information, please head over to fintechfutures.com. Otherwise, I shall see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.